Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada. Get ready? Prepare for blast off.
Your fortress of solitude.
Greetings, program.
Glad you're alive.
Your sanctum sanctorum.
Resistance is futile.
Welcome.
This should be the first triumph. This is where the fun begins.
Proof positive that geeks have inherited the earth.
It's showtime.
It's time to get your geek on
You complete me.
with Dave Gramillion.
Ah, yes! Welcome here. I am Dave Gramillion, and this is Get Your Geek On, the premier talk radio show for Star Wars, Star Trek, DC, Marvel, esports, video gaming, really all things geek that have dominated this little world of ours. You see, geek is not what it was 20 or 30 years ago. Geek is in. Geek is very in. Geek is now the mainstream, and we are here to talk the latest and greatest that is geek right here on 930 AM The Answer Talk Radio and 930 AMTheAnswer.com. This is Season 2, Episode number 48, and that means it's our 100th show. Yes, indeed. We made it 100 shows. They haven't kicked us off the air yet. At least, well, they may.
It's because I keep locking the door.
You keep locking the door, and you're the man behind the soundboard there. That kind of helps. So
That's right.
That's always good news. Man, what a thrill. An absolute thrill to be 100 shows in, and we decided to celebrate in a very special way. First, let me mention this is a pre-recorded show. So if you're listening to us on Saturday night, first of all, we appreciate that. Secondly, don't do what I'm about to ask you to do because nobody will be here. We are going to celebrate tonight by completely turning the show over to the audience and taking your calls.
By the way, if they're listening Saturday night at 11 o'clock, how can they be part of our live audience?
That's a good point. So you want to join us at facebook.com/GYGO Radio. Like the page and make sure that the notifications are active so that you get that lovely little ding when we do go live. Now,
Space-time continuum.
No.
Okay.
All right, now here's the story. So we're going to take calls, and you can talk about anything you want that's geeky related. You want to talk Disney, Star Wars? You want to tell us where I'm wrong? You want to tell me where I'm right? You want to tell me anything you want, what we're doing right, what we're not doing right, what you want more of, less of,
That's
whatever.
FCC compliant and doesn't talk about murder.
Yeah, no kidding. Marvel news. You want to talk DC news? You want to talk Zack Snyder? You want to talk Battlestar Galactica, Comic Cons, guests, interviews, whatever. Keep it geeky and keep it civil, guys. It's a radio show. Come on. But other than that, you're good to go. You can call in, and I'll give out the number here shortly. Just please don't call in on Saturday night because nobody will be here. All right, let me go ahead and introduce my motley crew here before I give out the number. To my left, your right, as you look across the radio dial, you will see the man who has founded and is currently running the Star Wars Society of San Antonio. All the glory that is SWASA. He is our Grand Admiral around here. Our minion, he is Peter Gonzalez.
Hey! I'm waiting for my theme music, but I'm going to start talking anyway. Oh, okay. Well, I just need some stormtroopers.
You look like an Imperial officer.
It's because I'm wearing the Imperial officer cap. That's going to be my next costuming project. What do y'all think?
I like the cap.
Yeah.
That looks very authentic. I like it.
Oh, yes.
Very cool.
Definitely. I even got new boots for Solo. Getting a new shirt coming in. Redid my blaster.
Very cool.
So I'm ready for Solo.
Very cool. Further to my left, your right, as you look across the radio dial, you will see the man spinning the ones and zeros. He is our sound prognosticator, and he is Goose. Still riding that Avengers wave, aren't you?
No, if I was riding the Avengers wave, I'd still be crying. Good Lord, that movie.
If you're truly riding the wave, you'd be, some ashes and stuff.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true.
By the way, don't buy any Marvel action figure special edition this year.
No.
Oh.
Hey, just go out to your front yard and dig it up, put it in a bag, you're good to go.
That's just not nice.
The same thing. Okay. Alrighty, so here, let's go ahead and get some quick news out of the way before we start taking your phone calls. And real quick, I want to mention that Minion and I, this is an exclusive announcement. We've been able to nail this down. Minion and I will be seeing the Solo movie early.
What?
Yes.
On Monday the 21st at 7:30, he and I will be seeing the Solo movie in theater, and we will give our review, our thoughts on that sometime sometime afterwards. No spoilers, though. We never do spoilers around here.
No.
Although, I guess if you haven't seen Avengers, we kind of spoiled. Oh,
Some
whatever.
stuff, yeah.
But no, we won't spoil the movie, but we will give our thoughts on that. So we will be seeing that Monday the 21st.
And not only that, I will be in costume for that. So if you're at the theater, come out and take some pictures. Unfortunately, with the theater, with the way how things are kind of going, you can't bring a blaster. No blasters into the theater. So in my holster, I will be armed with a banana.
Awesome.
I'm going to keep a banana in my holster.
Shall we talk about the 19th?
The night. Oh yes. All right. So we've been spoiler free about the Avengers: Infinity War
For
here
the
on the
most
show. What did we say? 96.37%.
96.27.
96.2% of 2.27% of this show has been spoiler free for the Avengers. That'll change on the 19th when we will do a YouTube live exclusive where we will just unload what we liked, what we didn't like, what we hated, what we loved. The whole 9 yards.
Break
It'll
it
be the
down.
whole thing.
Kit and caboodle.
Absolutely. That'll happen on the 19th on our YouTube channel. You want to be able to check that out as well.
tinyurl.com/Geigo YouTube.
While you're there, make sure to mash that sub button. Comic Palooza is coming up, and we will be there as well. That's out in Houston. We'll be interviewing Dante Bosco, who you may know as Rufio from Hook, and also the voice of Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender. So I'm excited about that. That'll be the second Avatar: The Last Airbender guest that we've interviewed on this show. In fact, as I recall, the first one was, I think we declared her the best guest we've ever had in the history of the show. Who was that again?
Greetings, you worthless peasants. I am Grey Delisle, the voice of Azula, and so many other of your favorite characters.
Exactly. That would be Grey Delisle. Love
Although
it. Love
that's
it.
not David's favorite.
Well, no, that's
favorite
true. That's true.
Well, David, you seem like a very, very bad kitty to me.
Till this day, he still blushes.
Very glad that the wife didn't hear that one. That was anyway. So let's go ahead and let's open things up here. The number to call in, if you do want to call in and sound off on whatever you want, please tell us your name, your location.
Yes.
And please also tell us what you want to talk about. That'd be nice going forward. That number to call locally is 210-308-8867.
Toll free.
Long distance toll free is 1-866-308-8867. Name, location, and what you want to talk about. Please keep in mind we'll get to you as fast as we can. If the phone lines get jammed up, what do you want? What do you want to do?
Only an hour show, man.
I know. We did some polling recently. Let's kind of kick things off with a bang here. First poll that I asked was, will Solo break the $400 million barrier, domestically speaking? And the box office predictions have been kind of all over the place. So we're not sure what to expect. 1,162 people voted. 56% say yes, it will get over 400 million domestic. It's a tidy sum. That's a tidy sum.
Not too bad. Not too shabby for a movie that everyone had written off.
Pretty much. Everybody was waiting, and a lot of people are still thinking this thing will be a stinker.
I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to see it at all, let alone opening weekend.
Ooh. Well, then you're probably have to wait until after Monday. You hear what we have to say about it.
Probably.
Let me give out the number again, and please remember this is pre-recorded. So if you're listening to us on Saturday night, we do appreciate you listening, but don't call on Saturday. It's pre-recorded. So the number again locally is 210-308-8867. The long distance number is 1-866-308-8867. 400 million domestic is quite the bar.
The rumor I keep hearing is, and we still have yet to confirm, is it actually has outsold pre-sale tickets for Black Panther.
In the first, here's the caveat. That was in the first 24 hours.
Okay.
Okay, so don't think that it's outsold it entirely. In the first 24 hours, the fans did flock to it. So we want to be careful on that one. Unadjusted for inflation, 400 million. These are the $400 million movies, not adjusted for inflation. Frozen, exactly 400 million. Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen was 402. Jurassic Park was 402. Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, which was just last year, was 404. So that's why I chose that benchmark, $400 million. Will Solo break the $400 million barrier? And that's just one topic. If you want to talk about something else, that's fine. That's totally cool. Talk about whatever you want. It's perfectly fine. Let's go ahead. We have our first caller on our 100th show. Like I said, we're going to turn this over to y'all. We have Derek calling in from, I think it's North Carolina, and he wants to talk Avengers. Hey, Derek, how you doing?
Fine. How about you, David? And congratulations for your 100th show, my man. I knew you could do it.
Aw, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So, your thoughts on the Infinity War, man? What's going on?
Well, after what I've seen, it went on a very sad note. Sad for everybody else except for Thanos. But I was wondering, when we go to the second part, and Captain Marvel enters the fray, she's going to give the Avengers some kind of time thing so the originals can go back in time and fix things. I want to ask you one thing. I know Captain Marvel's going to jack Thanos up, but who is going to, you think, is going to deliver the final blow to him? Is it Iron Man or Captain Marvel?
I don't think it'll be Captain Marvel. Now, Kevin Feige has gone on record as saying that she will be the most powerful MCU character to date. So I think that she is going to go in there and certainly, swing him around the galaxy for a while and just wail on him. But at the same time, I don't think she's going to finish him off. Let's assume that he does actually die, because it's Marvel, and if you've seen Infinity War, I mean, come on. Nobody actually dies.
Nobody stays dead in comics.
Nobody stays dead.
Unless it's Uncle Ben or Bruce Wayne's parents.
Yeah,
Yes, unless your name is Ben or Thomas or
Martha. So let's assume that he does actually die. I'm going to go with Iron Man. I think
agree.
Because of the whole Spider-Man thing, I think that it's going to be Iron Man. Goose, you're shaking your head there, man.
I think it's going to be Gamora.
Oh, you think Gamora?
Or Nebula.
Well, she does come back in the comics.
Well, Nebula's already tried to kill him. She hit him in the face with that sword a few times, right?
Right, that's the other ace in the hole. Nebula, do you think she is going to get the Infinity Gauntlet?
Oh,
She did in the comics.
Yeah.
This isn't a spoiler because it's not. But in the comics, she does get the gauntlet, and they did a reasonable job of sticking with the comics. But my gut says no.
I kind of wonder about that, because there's some on-set photos, because they're doing the second one right now, and there was some stuff with Karen Gillan, and she's got, I guess maybe she just was wearing gloves or something like that, but her other hand was not painted blue.
I actually heard that she'd injured her wrist, that she was doing some stunt work and she'd hurt herself. So maybe it was like a brace or
it's
something.
possible.
I don't know,
Possible.
but,
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, Derek, we want to thank you for calling in, man. Your first caller up on the 100th episode. That's you. You get that honor.
Thank you very much, and I hope you have a lot more episodes and reach 200, my man. You deserve it.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. 200
God bless.
episodes. I don't even want to think about 200. It was a struggle to get this far.
I was about to say.
Let's see. Where'd my call sheet go?
Next up, we have Sean from New York.
New York City.
New York. Sean, how you doing, man?
How you doing, Dave?
Doing well, man. So what you got for it? What you got?
I like to talk about the thing about the Disney buyout of Fox and Comcast maybe messing it up. What are your thoughts on that?
The alleged Disney buyout of Fox. If you listen to the show for any length of time, I've been a little skeptical. I don't think the Disney deal is going to go through at all. And
oh, really?
A couple of reasons why. One is Comcast can buy them all day long. Comcast has about 40% more revenue than Disney does on a per-year basis. So I think they have the clout. I think they have the bank. Seriously, it's like Scrooge McDuck and the money bin over at Comcast compared to Disney. So
Wait, you just used the Disney character to compare Comcast.
Isn't it fun like that? Isn't that good? So, so Comcast has the cash reserves, and rumor has it that if the Sprint T-Mobile deal goes through without a hitch, they're going to put in, get this, an all-cash bid for Fox.
All cash?
All cash.
All cash?
It would be like $58 billion cash. I mean, that's insane right there. But here's the other reason why I don't think it'll go through. Because there's a little thing called the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, and I don't know that they would look too favorably on Disney getting a 40% box office share. which is what they would have if they get Fox, in addition to having The Simpsons, Family Guy, MASH, Sound of Music, all that fun stuff, 40% of the box office share would go to Disney. I don't think the government would smile on that one. So what do you think, man? You think it's going to go through? You think Disney's got this one in the bag?
I don't know. I would like to see the X-Men and the Fantastic Four back in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, I would too.
Don't we all?
I so want a good Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, we've had 3 Fantastic Four failures.
Well,
the first one wasn't that bad.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't too bad.
Okay, let's call it 2 failures and like a foul tip. Kind of fouled off the bat there. So that's yeah. I would love all those crossovers. I really, 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 really would. But I just don't know that it's going to go through. Thanks, Sean, for calling in. We appreciate it, man.
Oh, take care, Dave.
All right, let's give out those numbers one more time here. A quick reminder to our listening audience: this is a pre-recorded show, so please don't call in if you're listening on Saturday night because there'll be nobody here. Those numbers again, if you're listening to us locally here in San Antonio, it is 210-308-8867, and long distance 1-866-308-8867.
And of course, that's for our Facebook audience watching live at facebook.com/GYGO Radio.
I was going to say, we do have a celebrity watching with us right now.
A celebrity? Oh. Who's that?
Yes, Richard E. Dominguez. He is the creator of the comic book El Gato Negro.
Nice.
He's currently lives in Luxembourg. He's originally from Dallas.
Muy bien.
Yeah, he's awesome. Got a chance to chat with him when I was putting together the article back in October for Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yeah.
Talking about all the different...
I remember that.
And just came across a treasure trove of just different comic book and superheroes that were Latino.
Now, I've got 2 other polls that I want to talk about as well. So the first one, 56% of y'all think that Solo will get over $400 million domestically at the box office. And that's 1,162 votes. I mean, that's not... I mean, you have political polls that are about that size. So that works.
But Solo is not as polarizing.
Yeah, well,
maybe, because some people are like... People are like, let's boycott the movie. We haven't even seen the movie.
Depending on who you talk to, the Solo movie may be more divisive than Trump.
Oh my God!
Depending on who you talk to,
it almost feels that way.
I've seen some incredibly heated discussions out there.
Yeah.
Here's my second poll. So Fandango came out and said that the Solo movie in the first 24 hours doubled the Black Panther pre-sales, shattering the record. Now, I asked, because this was brought up to me, several people came to me and asked, hey, do you think Fandango's kind of cooking the books to kind of raise expectations and for people to say, oh my God, this may be a really good movie? So I put it to the people. 851 voted. Again, a very good sample size. 45% of y'all, not the majority, but 45% of y'all think that Fandango overestimated the Solo pre-sales.
As Han would say, never tell me the odds.
I mean, so 45% of y'all honestly believe that Fandango's cooking the books? I find that hard to believe, but sure enough, it is what it is.
All right, so next up we have our faithful friend, Mr. Scott, calling from Fort Worth.
Hey, Scott from Fort Worth, man. How you doing?
Scott?
I'm pretty good. How are y'all?
Doing really well, man. Doing really well. All right, so you want to talk Avengers, man, so hit me with it. What you got?
Man,
I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
That was just the opening credits.
So say we all.
Yeah, and then it's a crazy movie. I took my sister to see it. I think I'm still not over it.
I don't know that a lot of people really are. I went to go see it again just this past weekend. The lady next to me was crying, and I don't mean like the occasional tear you got to wipe. I mean like lip quivering. Had to get out the box of tissues, the whole 9 yards, man. I mean that was for some people that was a really emotional film.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I really wish the X-Men were in there, because that would have probably helped turn the battle a little bit.
Yeah.
But go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, it would have right up until Thanos is like, Reality Stone.
Yeah.
And Colossus gets turned into a piggy bank.
Well, in the comic, Cyclops got encased in a case of.
Oh yeah, his head got encased. He suffocated to death.
Yeah, and Wolverine's bones got turned to rubber.
Yeah, so that was
not good. Not good.
Still would have been fun to see. Kind of makes me wonder though. You notice that Thanos does have those 3 slashes on either side of his face.
Yeah,
it does kind of make you wonder a little bit if they're alleviating something there or not. But all right, well, Scott, man, we want to thank you for calling in here and giving us your thoughts.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right, so man, 100 shows in. I love this. I love it. Let's go next caller. We have
who's next?
David in Dallas.
David
in Big D. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty well, man. Might need to turn your radio down though. I think.
Hang on.
We're getting feedback.
Yep.
I can hear myself in the future.
Hey, or in the past, actually.
In the past, like 2 or 3 seconds?
No, like probably a minute.
Hey, yeah. What's up? All right, so you want to talk about a Logan actor. What you got, man?
Well, I've been watching Walking Dead for quite a few seasons. And every time I watch it, Norman Reedus, who plays, I can't even think of his name now. Daryl plays Daryl. Every time I look at him, hey, look, there's Logan. I mean, he's spot on. Agree, disagree?
You know what?
I'm way off base here.
You know what? There's one part where he is kind of spot on. He is that kind of gruff, grizzled guy, but he's also short. Norman Reedus is not the tallest guy out there, and Wolverine in the comics is only like 5'6".
He's like shorter.
Exactly.
Is he shorter?
Like 5'1", 5'2", if I'm not mistaken, Goose.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he's
go look it up.
Shorter than me.
He's stocky.
So there you go. That's another notch in the belt. Then
I could see that, but man, he would have to bulk up like Hugh Jackman did.
Peter Dinklage.
Okay, that's just kind of pushing it a little, but
I could see Peter Dinklage. Yeah, absolutely. Why not? He's in he and The Rock are like in everything.
All you got to do is make him bigger, like they did in the Avengers movie.
They'll just CGI everything. Why not?
Well, they did that with Chris Evans for Captain America.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, all right, man. We want to thank you for calling in here. 100th episode.
Yeah, no
love hearing from you. All right, and we only have a couple of minutes left, so let's go to George out in California. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, Dave? How are you?
Hey, George, doing well. Talk to me about Solo. Hit me.
Honestly, I'm a little bit kind of, I'm sort of mystified. Literally shaking my head at this whole thing as far as, people wanting to boycott Solo because of, all this stuff. And it's like, I'm just so totally, it's just blown my mind.
It's mind-numbing. It
really is.
I mean, and they wanted to boycott The Force Awakens, they want to boycott Last Jedi. I have a feeling that if they came out with, whatever the fanboy dream is, I have a feeling if they came back and said, you know what, we're doing the EU, we're going to call it an alternate universe, that's what Rian Johnson's working on, it's all digital, it's all action, it's all lightsaber fights, they'd boycott that too.
So Luke found the Reality Stone?
Luke found the Reality Stone. Maybe Luke is the Reality Stone.
It just blows my freaking mind because, granted, loved The Force Awakens, loved Rogue One, had some problems. I had a few problems with Last Jedi, but I am so psyched for Solo. I can't even tell you.
Yes,
you're not the only one.
Solo is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I have a feeling, and we want to thank you for calling in, man. We do appreciate you taking the time here on our 100th show.
Absolutely. Happy 100th episode, you guys. It's been fun.
Thank you much.
It's been a ride.
I have a feeling...
I'm looking to 100 more.
Oh, that's awesome. I love the warm wishes. That's really cool. So when it comes to Solo, and we'll take calls again here. If you're calling in, we're going to put you on hold because we've only got a couple minutes left anyway. When it comes to Solo, I'm really hoping this is a simple, fun adventure story. Because I think that's what the Disney Star Wars needs right now.
Yeah, because everything so far has been pretty grim. Not grim, but just kind of a little dark.
Yeah, not dark, but they're trying to go in a different direction. And they're trying to take risks, and
there's been death in every single movie so far, like big time death. in every single
Yes,
Solo.
not to mention it, yeah.
That's right. So
I mean, Han got it in
Well, so did an entire planet.
An entire cast, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Then a Rogue One, the entire cast.
But right now, what Disney needs from Lucasfilm is something safe, something fun. Let's have a fun Guardians of the Galaxy type, Firefly-like show. That's what I'm really hoping for coming out of that. So.
I see a Space Western.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. The second episode of that show is called The Train Job. Swear to God, y'all need to watch that one because I think that's what I'm hoping. That's what we kind of get from Solo. By the way, so hey, there we go. So 56% of y'all say that Solo will break 400 million, and 55% of you said that Fandango did not overestimate Solo pre-sales, which means almost half of y'all think they did. Gracious. Alrighty, so we got a break for the bottom of the hour news right here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. We'll be right back.
You worthless peasants. I am Grey Delisle, the voice of Azula, and so many other of your favorite characters. And you're listening to the most dominant radio show for geeks in the world. Get your geek on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Welcome back from the bottom of the hour news break. This is Get Your Geek on 9:30 a.m. The Answer Talk Radio. I am Dave Gramillion, and if you missed the first half of our show, we had some news that we wanted to talk about, including our upcoming appearance at Comic Palooza in Houston, as well as Minion and I going to go see the Solo movie about 3 days before anybody else will, unless, of course, you go to the world premiere, which is
tonight.
Thursday. It was Thursday.
It was Thursday. So
where they had a life-size Millennium Falcon.
Life-size Millennium Falcon. You know where you can also find a life-size Millennium Falcon?
Where?
Really nowhere. That's the only spot.
Okay.
But it is starting to get pretty hot out there, guys. And where it's not hot is inside Laser Legend.
You can find a cosmonaut helmet there.
You can find a cosmonaut helmet there. That's true. But their air conditioning is impressive. It is really great. So you want to beat the heat, you want to head over to Laser Legend on the north side of San Antonio, not quite to I-35, not quite to Rolling Oaks Mall. They're off a Lookout Road, where you can enjoy their 4,000 square foot video arcade. You can enjoy their 2-floor laser tag arena and their indoor miniature golf. Also ask about their food and drink specials they got out there. You can get pizza, you can get quesadillas, you can get a number of fountain drinks, including something for mom and dad as well. Also, hey, they got massage chairs if you want to, take mom somewhere nice.
No
you can
way.
They got massage chairs out there. I'm just saying.
Impressive. Most impressive.
Absolutely. So you want to head up and check out on the north side of San Antonio our friends over at Laser Legend. Alrighty, so we want to let everyone know a couple of things here. First, this is a pre-recorded show. So if you're listening to us on Saturday night, you've actually kind of missed us a little bit, but you can always find us over at facebook.com/GYGO Radio. Secondly, this being our 100th show, we've decided to turn the show over to the audience. So we are taking your phone calls over at 210-308-8867 or long distance 1-866-308-8867. Alrighty, so we talked about two of our polls. And I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I apologize.
Well, and our third poll, this one was interesting. This one got over 3,000 votes. It was exactly 3,011. What is the better franchise right now? The better overall franchise right now, Star Wars or Marvel? The Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Make mine Marvel.
60% of people, despite all the yelling and complaining, 60% chose Star Wars.
You realize that there's only been 2 movies that have forwarded the story since the original trilogy.
Yes. And I also realize that right now it is the most controversial franchise out there.
Well, I'm talking like there's only 2 movies that have forwarded the story. Everything else has been a prequel that is considered canon.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
The movies, Rebels, Clone Wars, Rogue One. Solo.
Now, look, let me say this. I love Star Wars, and I have since the 80s, okay? I do love me some Star Wars. But at the same time, I don't know how you can say that Marvel is not the better franchise.
This is even when you were talking about this, I could see it in the chat. People were like, no, well, yeah, Dave's got a point. And it was like, oh, this is going to be a...
Exactly.
How do we rectify this?
And yet 60% still chose Star Wars.
Well, it's hard to say. I mean I love both. Disney owns both.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there is that classic little bit of nostalgia, and I get that. But when you think about how many movies have really been enjoyable in the MCU out of 22 that they've done, man, I don't know how you pick Star Wars for that one. So, all right. So let's go ahead and let's turn to the calls. This is 210-308-8867 or long distance 1-866-308-8867. We have Jesse right here in San Antonio. How you doing, Jess?
Hey, David.
Hey, man. What's going on? What's shaking?
Oh, not much. Just enjoying your 100th episode. Congratulations on that.
We're enjoying it, too.
Yeah, just wanted to call in, congratulate you, and say thank you for that winning that prize last week. Really appreciate it.
Well, hey, you did it, man. You won the prize yourself, so we want to thank you for sharing it out there and subscribing and supporting everything that we do.
It's been a pleasure.
All right,
I really enjoy your show, guys.
Well, thanks Jess. I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. That's
have
cool.
A good one.
All right, so there's Jesse from San Antonio calling in, and you can call in it as well. Please remember, this is pre-recorded, so please don't call in if you're listening to us on Saturday.
So you want to know an interesting fact?
What's that?
None of us have been here for every single episode.
That's true.
Of course, he wasn't here from the beginning.
Right.
It was just you, and then you asked me a question, and I answered the question, and I haven't stopped talking since.
Unfortunately, that was probably the biggest mistake of the show.
I think I've missed 3. You've missed 1.
I missed 1. Yeah, that's right.
I missed a few because I was working in sick and whatever.
Well, you were a guest at first.
Yeah, and you didn't lock the door. That's why I kept coming back.
I know.
So you can call in now. And by the way, if you want to ask a Minion or Goose a question, you're more than welcome to do that as well. You can call us here at 210-308-8867 or 1-866-308-8867. Let's get back to this. Go ahead.
And I was going to say, one of the great thing about Jesse is he's also the XO of Star Wars Society of San Antonio. And this year we are celebrating our 19th anniversary.
Very nice. Now,
so it's your 19th anniversary, not your 19th episode.
Not 19th episode.
We want to maybe throw a little disclaimer out there. We do random selections. I promise we do. We have witnesses and everything. It's all random. Putting that out there. Let's talk about this Star Wars versus Marvel franchise vote. I have to admit, I was very surprised at how this was the widest margin, by the way, 60-40 of the 3 polls we did. The other 2, we had 56-44 and 55-45. This one was 60-40 out of 3,000 people that voted. And you think about how much trash the prequels got, all 3 of them. You think about how much trash what I call the FT, the Future Trilogy, has gotten. Really, the only thing people can agree on is that they love A New Hope and they love The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi is great if you take out the teddy bears. But when it comes to the MCU, I mean, can you please name for me, other than Thor: The Dark World, a movie that really has been trash talked by the fans? I could go with Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 is a weak one.
Yeah, that was the weak one, and you're like, I'm sitting there in the theater, and I'm like, huh?
Which, as a start to Phase 2, the first 2 Phase 2 movies were kind of weak.
So all right, so that's 1. You can count Thor: The Dark World as 2 because that's pretty much universally agreed upon. It's not really, neither one of these are bad movies, but they don't live up to the standard. All right, so that's 2. That's 2 movies for the MCU. Can we think of any others that are really just kind of letdowns, disappointments?
Some people were kind of saying Winter Soldier was, but when you really look at it in this grand scheme of things, it was like there's some cloak and dagger and some espionage.
I think it's kind of underappreciated.
Winter Soldier actually set the tone for everything moving forward.
Pretty much.
Exactly. That's why that was my thing. It's like, give it some time. It's like,
if it wasn't for Winter Soldier, we wouldn't have
Bucky's
Civil
here,
War.
you know.
And if you want to call in and you want to make a case for Star Wars being the better franchise, you can do that right now. Please don't call if you're listening on Saturday, because this is pre-recorded. The number to call locally is 210-308-8867. Long distance is 1-866-308-8867. And that's on our dime, by the way, so you won't get charged for that. So go ahead and give us a call. David first says the first Avenger. the first Captain America movie was a mad disappointment. Now hold on, that tone of that movie is different.
It is very different because it mainly takes place in World War II.
Yeah.
Well, and you also get a supporting cast when Captain gets his commandos, and then they're kind of there, but they're kind of not, and then you're just kind of eh.
And then they show up in Agent Carter.
I don't think it's the worst Marvel movie. I think that goes to Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, Thor: The Dark World, I think, covers that.
I think that gets the
First
worst
Avenger.
one.
Here's the thing about Captain America: The First Avenger. It doesn't build on what came before it. You could put that anywhere in Phase 1 and it still works.
Mm-hmm.
That could be the first movie you actually watch. It could be the second movie you watch. Could be Phase 1. You can kind of put in any order and it makes sense.
And
except for Iron Man, Incredible Hulk. You got to watch Iron Man first.
And I'm sorry, but I have a hard time believing that any movie that has Natalie Dormer in it could be bad. I'm sorry. I don't see that. Plus, it has, I forget her name.
You also think any movie that has Kat Dennings in it can't be bad either, but
no, not Kat Dennings.
She's Natalie Portman's assistant,
right?
She's in Thor: The Dark World too,
which is not a good movie.
Yeah,
no, so that's okay. No, Natalie Dormer's in it, and I forget her name, but she was the Doctor Who companion to Matt Smith, and then later Capaldi.
Clara?
Yeah, Clara Oswald was the character name, but I can't remember the actress name. But she's also in First Avenger. So you can't have her be in there and have it be a bad movie. It's just not possible. Not going to happen. Thor 1 I thought that was good. I thought it was visually one of the more breathtaking Marvel movies that came out.
At the time, yeah.
When they traveled through the Rainbow Bridge, oh my God. When you see Asgard for the first time,
ooh,
wow.
Yes, indeed.
Plus, it's Kenneth Branagh.
You see Asgard for the first time. It is indeed quite stupendous.
I agree. I definitely agree.
I think the one thing that does save Thor: Dark World, getting back to that, is just Loki.
Yeah.
He's a scene stealer. You got to give it up for Tom Hiddleston.
To a point, yes,
Yeah.
but I think you can have too much. Kind of like you can have too much of the lightsaber. I think you can have too much of Tom Hiddleston as Loki.
Yes, that's true.
But I'm sorry. So far, we have two movies, Iron Man 3 and Thor: The Dark World, that are
not to par.
Disappointments. Yeah, they did not live up to par. That's a good way of putting it.
We say that now as the air conditioner just happens.
Yeah, the
to
air
kick
conditioner
on.
just kicked on.
And really,
Hello.
he does. The sad part is, as we move further into the franchise, you realize that Tony just did away with the lesson learned in Iron Man 3.
Pretty much.
You know.
And they never really explain. He had that whole anxiety panic attack from New York. I wish we'd gotten a little more into that. It's just kind of something he's dealing with and then never deals with ever again.
Right.
I mean, did he get over it because of Iron Man 3?
Yeah, they don't explain the arc. They said the arc reactor is just there just for the nanotech.
Now that they got into, but they didn't get into his whole anxiety thing.
Exactly.
So I don't know what happened there. But all right, so that's 2. In the meanwhile, we've got 5 Star Wars movies. 5 that people bicker and debate and argue and
it's going to be 6 by the end of the month.
Like block each other and unfriend and get into a whole hissy fit about. If I go onto a Marvel forum on Facebook right now, if I go to Marvel group and I say, guys, I don't think Thor: The Dark World was that good, then I'm gonna get some back and forth discussion. If I go into a Star Wars group and I say the Attack of the Clones was not that good, man, I'm gonna get lit up.
Not really, because Attack of the Clones wasn't that great.
No, that's true.
Not true.
So,
true.
you're talking about how Tony had a lot of anxiety in Iron Man after Avengers.
He did indeed.
Well, the DC Universe had anxiety when they found out that the Source Wall was broken, and they're going to continue the story that began in Dark Metal this last Wednesday was No Justice.
That's right.
And it's in comic book form. And so if you do not have a local comic book shop, or you're in San Antonio, place you want to go is Dragon's Lair at Alamo Ranch.
Will the next issue be called No Peace?
No, it's a 4-part.
No Justice.
Yeah.
No Peace.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, so Dragon's Lair Alamo Ranch it's a great place to go. It's on the west side of San Antonio. We went out there for free comic book day and we had a fantastic time.
Oh yeah, if you get a chance, we got a chance to interview Rose.
The manager out there. So that interview is available on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GYGO Radio. But it's out there on the west side. It's right where you take the 151 exit and boom, you're there. That's Dragon's Lair Alamo Ranch. Alrighty, let's see. So that covers my 3 polls there. You guys hear about the what Margot Robbie allegedly said?
You told me about that when we got in here today.
Apparently, so they greenlit the Harley Quinn standalone movie, which is going to be kind of like a girl gang movie.
Yay!
Sort of. And apparently, allegedly, I haven't had this confirmed yet. She said that it's going to be R-rated. Okay, first of all, it hadn't been written yet. They just got a director, for God's sake. So I don't know how anybody can say anything about what its rating will be, but really? It has to be R-rated?
It doesn't have to be. I mean, you can... I mean, there's... Because then again, Harley Quinn has got such a huge following, especially with young people, and especially with young girls.
True.
I mean, you're blocking half your audience there.
Yeah, why would you want to make an R-rated... I get it. It worked for Deadpool because that's who he is.
Right.
It worked for Logan because
that's who he is.
The fans have wanted a bloody, violent, gory kind of a Logan, but it's not Harley. It's just not who she is. You can talk to us also about this. Don't forget this is pre-recorded, so please don't call in on Saturday or while listening to our award-winning podcast. You can call in right now. Talk to us about Marvel, Star Wars, DC, Harley Quinn, whatever you like. The local number is 210-308-8867. The long-distance number is 1-866-308-8867.
So, when it comes to ratings and comic book movies, people get crazy. So if if that is ever announced that is actually going to happen,
yeah,
here's what will happen.
When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
No doubt.
That's kind of going on in the Star Wars universe right now.
No doubt.
It's been going on since 1999.
83, because there's still people who didn't like Ewoks.
Well, for sure, it was, 93 when we got the special editions?
No, that was 97.
97?
No, wait, special editions?
No, it was 97.
Yeah, you're right. It was like around 94, 95 when it started to make that resurgence.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
that's when you had the Han Luke figures and everybody was buff. I love that because at one point...
Well, it was the 90s. Everybody was buff in the 90s.
I love it because at Mark Hamill at that point had said, I've been letting myself go for years and I finally got the six-pack I finally wanted.
Yeah, okay.
That's awesome.
I can see that.
Because Mark Hamill is awesome.
So what's it going to take for the DCEU to kind of get things going?
A reboot?
No, besides that. So they have the Aquaman movies coming up.
Yes, that'll be fun.
That'll be December this year.
Don't forget also, a lot of people have overlooked this, is Shazam.
Shazam will be next. No, the Flash movie, which now apparently is not going to be Flashpoint. So they don't know what. They honestly have no idea what to do. Warner Brothers has exactly zero idea what to do with Flash.
And I think is it just because that unlike since they don't have a Kevin Feige in there, is it just the higher ups on the main office who are just calling the shots on this?
Well,
or what?
When I first heard that the Flash movie was not going to be Flashpoint, I think everybody's reaction was.
Yeah, it's just pick a direction and stick with it. If you're going to do Flashpoint, do Flashpoint. If you're going to have a Flash standalone, have a Flash standalone. I don't care at this point. You know what this is? All right, so did you see that the Mets, I know I'm getting into sports here, the New York Mets batted out of order? Think about it.
Okay.
A major league team, this rarely happens. Mm-hmm. So a guy went up to bat and it wasn't his turn.
Okay.
He hit the ball cleanly. It was a stand-up double, and then he's called out because he batted out of order. How do you do that? How do you bat out of order in this day and age? I'll never know. But it's like that's what Warner Brothers is doing. They're batting out of order. They're making these fundamental mistakes. Pick a direction and stick with it. I'm sick and tired. I'm actually getting tired of talking negatively about the DCEU. I'm really getting tired of it, but every single week there's something new that they serve up on a silver platter that I get to talk about and hammer them with.
The only good thing that they have going for them right now is Wonder Woman.
That's it.
They're 1 for 5. They're 1 for 5.
And even Man of Steel's like a half though, so they're like 1.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in Justice League, Wonder Woman really didn't have a whole lot to do. I mean, she was there. I mean, she did a few little things, but.
She was the heart. She was the one who talked Bruce off the ledge a couple of times. And
possibly.
Kind of worked on bringing Kal-El back.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the comics, though, didn't she break Superman's arm at some point?
She's done more than that.
Well, yeah, that was in the lead up to Infinite Crisis.
But yet, she can't take care of Steppenwolf. She's just getting hammered by Steppenwolf. I mean, I don't get it. But you can tell me what's wrong with the DCEU. You can call in. The local number here is 210-308-8867. The long distance number 1-866-308-8867. Don't be afraid. We won't bite.
Most of the time,
I won't.
Most of the time, Wonder Woman and Superman don't know when they can't hold back.
True.
They're so used to holding back that when it's like, oh wait, I don't have to hold back here. The other person's got a few licks in already.
That's true enough. But they're let's say 1.5 out of 5 for Man of Steel. But it's annoying. It's kind of like the Cleveland Browns almost at this point. You want them to do well just so that you're just tired of seeing them go 0-16.
Right? You're tired of them getting the first round draft pick every single year.
Every single year they get the number 1 pick, and I'm sick of that too.
And that's worked out really well for them.
Yeah. So I really want them to pick it up. I really want them to do well. And I want to stop talking bad about them, but God almighty, I just can't stop because they keep giving me fresh stuff to talk about that's not good. Pick a direction with the Flash movie. Stick with it. If it flops, it flops. But just pick one and go with it. No wonder why they've had 3 directors on this project. 3 directors on the Flash movie. I bet you didn't know that. 3 directors.
Yeah, but they typically go quickly.
I saw what you did there. But then again, like I keep saying, the thing that does save it is the Arrowverse on CW. That's the one thing that's going on.
They do TV quite well.
Yes.
And by and large, comic book properties are more designed for a long-form storytelling platform, such as television or comics or animated series. They're not really designed for movies.
That's true. There's so much story to talk about.
Yeah, and you can only cram so much in 2 hours.
That's true, especially when you consider it takes about 6 23-minute episodes to tell the same story as it would for one movie. But seasons are 15 episodes, give or take, plus or minus.
20. Well, for most standard non-cable television, they're between 20 and 24.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a chunk. That's a lot of story to tell. So I can see it from that point, but it's just all you have to do, beginning, middle, end, story, plot, character, make me laugh, make me care, end with a big bang, you're done. And DC just keeps botching it every single time.
In the movies, yes.
In the movies. But to be fair, when you look around at what everyone's talking about, what is trending, nothing about the Arrowverse is going to be trending nearly as badly, or rather near as popular, as if they made a really great DCEU movie. In a way, TV
that would make me so happy.
TV is the minor leagues, and movies are the major leagues.
That's one way of, paraphrasing.
So sure, the DCEU is rocking it in TV. Great, that's awesome. But Warner Brothers is not going to make millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars based off what happens on the TV. They're going to make it on their movies.
Yeah.
And what people are going to remember and talk about on certain talk radio shows are the movies. I mean, yeah, we talk TV.
No, we don't.
On occasion. But not
Very
nearly like
rarely.
we do with the movies,
No,
though,
we
because that's
don't.
what everybody else is talking about.
Because that's general audience stuff.
Exactly. So, all right, we do have time if you want to call in. We have time for a couple of phone calls here. The local number is 210-308-8867. The long distance number, it's on our nickel, is 1-866-308-8867. I don't know where everybody
This is a
went.
pre-recorded program, so if you're listening to it Saturday, we
won't be here Saturday.
We won't be here.
Where did everybody go? We were crammed the first half hour. Where'd you guys go? Good gracious. Oh, goodness. So let's talk about, this is our 100th show.
Yes, it is.
100 shows.
I know, right?
And we have, 2 to go until the anniversary? 4? 4 shows till the anniversary.
52 plus 52.
It is 4. Okay, all right.
Carry the...
It's late. Give me a break. It's been a long week. So when you go back to where it all started, on the very first episode, so I walk in, I talk to Goose, and he's like, do you want this to be like a back and forth, or am I talking? He was kind of like Poe Dameron. How's this work? I talk, you talk, I talk, who talks first? And I walk in, I'm like, you know what, let me do my thing here.
Yeah,
because
and I
he
said, okay.
didn't know me, I didn't know him, and I hadn't been on air for a while, so, I just wanted to kind of settle in for a while. And so if you go back and listen to our podcast, which you can on iTunes or Stitcher or Omni,
And several episodes are available on YouTube.
Yeah, and several on YouTube. But you go all the way back to the beginning, you're going to hear a lot of just me. And then we brought Goose in, let him talk for a bit, and then we brought Minion in and let him talk
as,
for a bit.
as a guest, nonetheless.
And we've had some guests in there, so the show has
No, he was a
evolved.
guest like the first few times.
Oh, he was a guest once.
Guest once, and then I just kind of started showing up and stuff.
Because our first repeat guest was Serena from Champions of San
That's
Antonio.
true. Yeah, that's right. You came in, I had to start locking the door.
Well, I know how to pick locks. That's a good thing.
No, you came in, and then I had to lock the door so that way they wouldn't throw us off the air.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
All right.
that too.
All right, good enough.
So we've had a lot of fun on the show. Don't get me wrong. We've had a really great time here. We've brought in some great guests that we've been able to talk to, and we
Several
hope to continue doing
cosplayers, several celebrities.
that. Yeah, a couple of writers here and there, some CEOs, whatnot and so forth. We spoke to Pat Proft about the holiday special and learned the biggest thing I got out of that interview, besides the fact that it's Pat Proft. Oh my God, what I got out of that interview was how little George Lucas was involved in the holiday special.
This happens to be Pat Proft, and this is Get Your Geek On here at 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
And I mean, basically, that's why George Lucas didn't credit it. If you actually watch the holiday special, his name doesn't show up in the credits because all he does is he show up, he gives them a few pointers,
and
it says kind of, I'm kind of going for this whole variety show thing. The stormtroopers are like Nazis, and he walks out, and they don't see him again. Which kind of makes you wonder what it would have been like if he had been involved, because he gets a lot of crap. For
So
that
basically, he just came in. He just came in there to do this.
Stir, whip, stir.
one. Nope, stop. Nope. We're
Speaking of Star Wars guests, we've had a couple on.
we have actually.
And Mike Quinn.
Mike Quinn was on.
Shannon.
Shannon was
awesome.
Yeah, you notice how his pitch changed when he said Shannon?
Shannon.
Oh, I'm
my
getting
goodness.
red here. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Shannon.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
We're going to talk to Dante Bosco from Avatar: The Last Airbender. We'll do that in a couple of weeks, and
else
we
have we-
talked to Grey Delisle as well.
Oh, that's it.
And we're out of time. My goodness. Well, we could always use your feedback. So, if you want to shoot a tweet at us, you can tweet us at GYGO_radio. You can shoot me an email at davethehost@getyourgeekon.org. For Goose, for Minion, and for myself, I want to thank our sponsors, Laser Legend, The Mailing Spot, Havoc, and Dragon's Lair Alamo Ranch. Thank you for listening. Be excellent to each other, and make sure to get your geek on every single day. Good night, everybody.